What's up, everybody? No bad behavior from anyone. There better not be any bad behaviors. Lucky Pawnda Arena. Because Pawndas are inherently lucky. They have more than one color. They're both black and white at the same time. They're just basically jovial and roly-poly. What is this message? Alright. So we got Sparkle Horse Xerox tournament starting in 1 minute. I tried to advertise, but only 10 players thus far. Sorry guys, I couldn't start earlier. Alright. Possibility of playing in a GM tournament. They may need me in some late February GM tournament. I won't turn down the opportunity to play in the GM Norm tournament. We'll need your support, your backing. Occasionally, like, organizers need a foreign player, even if my rating sucks. I'm like the last resort, basically. The last resort. It's nice to be the last resort around here. That's why I never changed my federation. Once in a while. No, I'm not even definitely playing. You know, it's just a possibility. They're going to let me know. They're going to let me know next week. You know, again, I'm the last resort. I have a shitty rating, so you don't want someone who's like 23, 35, bringing down the average by like 65 points unless necessary. If I was 2400, I would have much more opportunities. All right, here we are. Pawnda Rapid Tournament, 10-0. With my K factor, bro. My rating is like etched in stone. Etch a sketch. Alright, I keep getting afraid I'm going to lose on time. Will I lose on time? I can, right? It's an arena. I will lose on time. This guy's asking why no increment. Dude, seriously? I gotta turn the chat off. No increment because it's a freaking arena. Increment makes arena suck because it sort of defeats the purpose of berserking. Well, we could have an arena. We've had increment arenas. I like to mix it up. Anyway. Alright, Xerox. Play the Kraken. Has Xerox faced the Kraken yet? I can only like gain or lose a maximum of 1 rating point per game or something. I don't know what my K factor is, man. It's been set in stone. That's alright. I like being 23-30 for the rest of my life. I've been 23-30 since like 1991. It's cool. I'm consistent. So, yeah. Boom, E5. You got me. Had a lot of games of this lately. Move 11 just the other day. So I have 2 ways of playing here. No, I guess Knight C6. Many ways to play. Play the modern. Just looked at the same game the other day. Oh yeah, I remember what it was now. Against Move 11. Move 11 played C3 against me this past week. E5 not a better move? I don't know. Be more specific. Be more Pacific. I played E5 a lot lately, but I was looking at this the other day. I mean, G6 is totally viable. Well, that's weird. My flag came back. That's weird. So when I look at my profile, I have a flag. It just doesn't show up in the tournament. Okay. Xerox. He's playing like Schlieber Spieler. Popular. This is a solid setup for white. I also have played games like this with white. It's a solid setup. Did I make an error? No. No. Never. Should I play E5 there? Well, possibly. I just grabbed my queen by accident. I almost castled my queen kingside. So, Xerox, we've had a lot of games over the years. I first played him like 5 years ago. I think the first game was a Sicilian. But I'm getting Xerox mixed up with his Finnish counterpart now. Why do I do that? I like lump all Scandinavian people together. Because pawn takes pawn. Pawn. A6. I'm going to take with the pawn because I want to maintain my strong point. There was an interesting game I saw in the database. White played something like Rook E1. It was an almost identical position or a very similar position where white maintained the tension here and black played B6. And that's a pretty cool idea. B6 is okay. So now we have the ultra dynamic imbalance in the pawn structure, which I love so much. Ultra dynamic imbalance. Welcome everybody, what's up? How's that? How's that diagonal grab you? Where's Asterbait? Asterbait, you're so quiet now. Mr. Coffee, good to see you. You know, as you guys know or may not know, the evil chess site has their stupid tournament every week up against my Pawnda Arena. There's like 1 million people streaming. That's how stupid the chess world is, you know? Alright. Bishop c2. Knight d7, knight c5. b6. I don't know what to play here. b6, bishop b7. Weakening my white squares. I feel like I have this b6 obsession because I saw that in similar position. h6. I mean, h6 is kind of more of a classical Roy Lopez style move. Preparing bishop e6 by taking away the g5 square. Well, this is played in many openings. Not just the Roy Lopez, but King's Indian attack type positions. Englishes. Kind of a normal prophylactic style move. I was thinking if bishop b3, I mean, he didn't necessarily play bishop c2 to play bishop b3. If he does play bishop b3, I can always hit it with knight a5. So I think I'm too obsessed with that. By the way, this is my first game today, so although I've analyzed chess, I haven't played any games today. So my playing brain isn't really turned on. Plain brain. Asterbait, you have a plain brain. Very solid looking move, but it's sort of inviting me to play knight h5, knight f4, which, you know, may not be a big deal. Don't need a red flag to get me to play knight h5, knight f4, though. If knight h5, knight c4, knight f4 takes, my pawn gets dragged off to f4. So it's not that clear. That's a good thing for me to do. But at the end of the day, I think the queen is more exposed here than it is on d1. Ultimately, you've got a broken brain. Ultimately what? This was the plan, to develop my pieces. And ultimately it sucks. Because, fill in the blank. Hi, I'm a little bit late. I was a little bit late, but not really. Knight b3. Let's see, fill in the blank. Bishop e6 sucks because knight b3. We should have like multiple choice exams here on the stream. Bishop e6 sucks because of knight b3 and white threatens to play knight to c5. Option A. Bishop e3 sucks. Why else could bishop e3 suck? Sorry, e6. I'm turning into one of these noobs who like always says the coordinates backwards. Bishop e6 sucks because... Why else can it suck? Well, it can't suck because it gets hit by knight g5, that's for sure. Because that's not going to happen. Well, anyway. Threatening to threaten me. I want to move my queen. I don't know why. Sudden desire to move my queen. More robotic moves, Sledgy. I mean, some of you guys might like the queen c8 sort of noob concept of sacrificing, quote-unquote, my bishop on h3 and all that. Someone already mentioned that. Chess Riddle already mentioning bishop takes h3 earlier. I mean, I don't mean to call you guys noobs, but a lot of noobs overly represent that kind of stuff. Ultimately, queen c8 will interfere with my rooks, so I think e7 is a better square. It could also support e5, protect my bishop if there's an exchange of bishops. We have knight on f4, I get it. How do you feel about the d5 square, boys and girls? Knight h5. Speaking of knight h5, now this hopefully will discourage him from knight e3 because of the wonderful threat of knight f4. You can't have knight e3 and bishop e3. You can only have one piece on one square at a time, and that's one of the fundamental things about chess. You can't have multiple pieces on the same square, unless you're like a really sloppy Washington Square Park hustler or something. Alright, so this is about sophisticated guy, trying to prepare, I guess, g3. Okay, knight f4 is very tempting now. And I think we've got to consider it, but after careful consideration, maybe I don't mind. If you want to play g3, be my guest and play g3. Maybe that's the way I should look at it. If you want to play g3, play g3. Weaken your king side. The bigger threat, though, is knight e3, knight e5. So he's got to play g3 in order to play knight e3 without getting hit by knight f4. I can play f5 here. And then pawn takes pawn, my hanging pawns are pretty creaky. I don't know. I'm just going to try to make this work somehow. I'm just going to have faith. See, he insta-took. If it was a king's Indian, this would be really good for me because the long diagonal is totally open. But because he has these pawns here, it's not that great, as in some cases. However, my pawn at f4 blocks this knight from maneuvering. So it's also not so easy to pick it off or something. What I was wondering was e5 there. Could I surround his pawn or something, I think this is going to be a major factor now. But he's quick. He's quicker than me. G5, E5, G5, E5. Well, that's really like a King's Indian now. G5, E5. G5, E5, F5. Pawn takes S6. And I'm going to get mated on H8 by his queen and bishop tandem. I really don't have to play G5. Remember the Alamo. Wow. That's a nice square you've got there. I'm definitely not playing g5 now. I wasn't sure which way he would recapture in that scenario. Check out the scenario. We're glad we didn't play g5. I wish I could just remove comments without like banning people and stuff. It's just annoying that the comment will remain there for the rest of our lives. This totally random comment. Can I like just do this or something? Just spam the chat so I don't have to look at that? I mean, seriously. Draw a shape to create a... No, I didn't want to do that. It keeps going. I pressed some kind of key. Oh no. No, I don't want to do a screen snip. Yeah, thank you. I don't have to look at that. Thank you, Nettie. You're good at that. We found your natural skill. Alright, you can stop now. It's cool. You can stop now. It's all good. Now you can stop. You can stop anytime now. Wow, bishop takes. That's a weird move. Why did he take with the bishop on d1? Oh. He just wanted to hang his pawn on e4, of course. I could have just taken this pawn on e4. Okay. I got distracted. Man, that's really funny. Could I play like more of a doofus? Seriously? Wow. Play like the ultimate doofus. He hangs his e4 pawn, and I don't take it. Why would I do something like that? Oh, f3. Wonder why he played f3. He's real crazy with the time. Oh, it's non-increment. I didn't click the draw button. That's insane. That was very generous. I was wondering why you were playing so fast. And it just like, I didn't get it. I just didn't pick it up, you know. I didn't pick it up. I never knew it was increment until 2 seconds before, and you offered me a draw, which was really sportsmanlike. I mean, and certainly not necessary. I only realized it was non-increment at move 27. And I was like, okay, that's why he's playing so fast. I'm like, why is he playing so fast? I know he likes like fast time controls. No, thanks for the sportsmanlike draw offer there. Position is probably equal. Yeah, you made a weird move with the mouse slip. Yeah, I was wondering, like, why would you even play that way? You know, I was expecting rook takes. In fact, I didn't even consider taking your pawn on e4. Alright. I should be aware of the fact that it is non-increment. There was discussion about this. There was a comment in the chat room that I didn't want to see because it was annoying. I already had 2 coffees today, and so I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't have another coffee. I'll be like bouncing off the walls, but I'm still sleepy. I ate 2 fish fingers and I'm still sleepy. Damn it, not another closed position. You guys are really gonna kill me with this closed position stuff. First I get essentially what was like a King's Indian with black, and now I got the white side of a classical French. That's the reason why I got in such bad time pressure. I was being very thoughtful about strategy in game one, and if you don't know you're playing non-increment, it's kind of problematic. I mean, our time was relatively level until the last couple minutes when he started picking up the pace, and I didn't understand why. I thought like Xerox was just being his fast self, but he understood increment not being present, and I didn't. Trash is an art form. It's all relative, G-Souths. I guess anything could be an art. I make trash art. Why don't you make some AI art and sell it online? Speaking of cheese.com. Okay, Miyamoto, now this is early in the game to be playing super fast. Something inconsistent about bishop e7, queen a5, bishop c5. Just saying. Bishop takes d4 is definitely black's best move now. And you've been playing a lot of bullet. That's definitely a candidate. No, he missed it. He missed it. He didn't hang his queen. Now we got a very good Steinitzian endgame here. And lots of time to play it. Okay. First game kind of should have been a draw to begin with, I think. Now we have lots of time to think about this strategic position. Very good endgame. White is better, not necessarily winning, but much better. But what's the plan? What's the plan, Sam? Not so simple. What's black's plan? I'm going to play this. SCP. Where's Mr. Coffee? He's still working? Secure, contain, protect. My son is into like roadblocks. This is definitely like risk management. I'm gonna secure, contain, and protect against f6. Mr. Coffee was here, I know. He got bored of the stream, went over to CheeseCom to play in the title Tuesday. It's a really sad day when the chess world, the most exciting thing in the chess world is Title Tuesday Blitz tournament on cheese.com. It's a very bad sign for chess. I don't know, all these like streamers like to do that, but I'm just like disgusted by the fact that those games get, in many cases, they're putting those games in like the online master database and stuff. It's just trash, you know. Speaking of AI art, Blitz games have no place in like an online chess database. Oh my god. You played f6. Like, my entire purpose for living was to prevent this move. I'm glad you played f6. His plan is to play g5 next. Very happy to see f6. It's understandable that black played it, because it's like a means of putting pressure on the white center, but Nimzovich might not approve. Obviously, depending on the situation. Now we're really getting happy. We over secured and protected g5, so that break's not happening, right? And now it's just like pile up. Smile and say cheese for the camera. But possible we can, and I thought here, possible we can use the avenue A. Now, for an interesting debate, which way do I recapture? The pawn on e6 is gone, isn't it? He can protect with like rook f6 and king f7. King takes or pawn takes. Which is better? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. They're both viable. But I feel like the ability to play c3 to keep the c-file half closed and secure d4, again SCP protocol, might be more valuable. Plus I keep my pawns just more flexible. Take toward the center normally is a good rule, and I don't think that c takes d3 is a bad move, but it just doesn't seem necessary. So rook f6. He found it. God damn it. I haven't said a good God damn it, Jerry, in a while, in honor of my old friend Jerry Williams, who's like a local chess legend. Wow, bro. I could even get my king to d4 this way. You know, another good reason to play king takes rather than pawn takes. Knight f3 and king d4. Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Putting my knight on e5. So f5 is a nice idea to force the breakthrough. But do I really want to do that? Do you really want to hurt me? Boy George, still alive. Culture Club. So what do I do? It's incredibly difficult to finish black off here, surprisingly. f5 looks tempting. It's probably rushing. f5, very forcing though. Black probably has to take. I could take on d5, doesn't look great. I can check on e7, which looks very invasive. Invasive plants. Or we can see what's behind the other doors. Ah, that idea, huh? What's behind door number 2? Or maneuver with knight f3. Not convincing either. I mean, if I get my knight to e5, okay, great, but it still doesn't like win the game or anything. Am I missing something here? I feel like I'm missing something here. c4. It's a fine move. Plausible. I'm just going to lose on time instead. Alright, I'm going to go for it. The riskiest continuation, probably. All hell could break loose after this. But I can't resist this, like, breakthrough to the 7th rank. Three minutes to go. Guys, join our Pawnda team and join our tournament. I have nobody requesting to join the team. You know, I supposedly have like 500, 600 members of the Pawnda team, but I suspect a lot of accounts are closed or something. Only like 10% of them have like blocked messages. Must be like 50% of the team like no longer exists or something. It is bad that people leave their games. No. You're right about that. Sometimes it's maybe their internet, but what's up, man? What are you going to do here? There was really no choice. Now, H5 is interesting, isn't it? Just occurred to me. But maybe not interesting enough. There's another interesting idea. Alright, first we're going to invade. And then we're going to consider our options. Based on what black does now. Checkpotamus. Checkpotamus. Alright, now another interesting idea. Black is paralyzed. And since black is paralyzed, we can go here. Enjoy your paralysis. Checkpotamus. Do you enjoy good paralysis? Alright. Breakthrough. Instructed breakthrough. Breakthrough with paralysis. Yeah, I mean, I was quadruple attacking e6. I mean, how are you going to play another move there? It wasn't like I had 3 attackers. It was 4 attackers against e6. Knight, pawn, and 2 rooks. I don't see how you cannot take on f5. What are those things? I need to get more exercise. Maybe I'll go for a walk. It's going to be too late, though. Too late to go for a walk. By the way, if you guys want to test your luck, try to find a dark alley near your home and go back in there and see what you find. Dark alleys, crossing the street with your eyes closed. I'm trying to think of different ways you can really put your luck to the test in the real world. Calling with gut shot straight draws for large amounts of money. What other ways can we test our luck? Xerox. I love it when people like... Yeah, I love it when people call my huge all-in bets with gut shot straight draws. With one card to come. No other outs but a gut shot straight draw. That seems rational, doesn't it? You fold out the player with the better hand in a 3-way pot. That's ironic, right? The guy was so pissed too. I make the better player, the player who's like sensible and has a better hand fold. But then the player who has just a gut shot calls and hits on the river, the 4-outer. You lost, and then you're getting like savaged by this guy who's like angry you made him fold the winning hand. In addition to like losing the pot. I have to defend my play. I have to lose the pot and then defend my play. Am I a lucky player? No. I'm the unluckiest player I know. One of them, anyway. Alright, so rook d6, nice move. Wow. So many possibilities here and so little time. I vote for rook f7. Up close and personal. But it's still not over yet. Boom, man. It's getting close, though. I'm down a pawn, no. I'm down a pawn. Oh, my God. 1600 is kind of good. Kind of good. Right. I'm kind of good too. I gotta remember that it's ta-da! It's increment. No increment. So where's the mate? King e5. Wow. This is a pretty sick position, really. I don't have any particular threats here. Somebody beckoned? No. Alright. We got our pawn back. I don't think f6 was a good move. King Kong has 11 points, and he's complaining that his opponents are leaving the game. Unlucky. Speaking of unlucky. Yeah, that wasn't a good French defense, though. I mean, you have to really appreciate. He's giving me the ideal Steinitzian French endgame. Not a medium good one, basically the best, juiciest, classic Steinitz French endgame you can get. That's playable against weaker players, but you gotta really know what you're doing. You can't just go into any old one of those endgames against a master and expect not to get destroyed. You were a tempo down in an already sort of shady variation, essentially. Yaroon versus King Kong. Does anybody want to bet the opening? Guys want to play bet the opening? Without cheating? I can tell you what opening this was. Only looking at the board from move 20. No, it was a Stonewall Dutch, right? Black played the Stonewall Dutch. King's Indian is a good guess. It could be a King's Indian, theoretically. Estimate, did you take your medication today? I'm trying to cut back. Right, no, this is an educated guess. White offers a draw. A practical decision. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pawns each. 2267. I'm taking the draw here. Especially if it's rated, right? Morales Xerox, nice game. Oh my god. Morales' control of the E5 square a little shaky there. What? Wait, wasn't there like rook takes E4 check? And why are you guys playing so fast? Wait, knight takes a7, rook E8 here. Hold on. Do you have rook takes check? Don't you have rook takes check and then the knight is trapped? You have rook takes E4 check and then rook E7. Xerox. And then white sacks on C6 or B7, and white has a rook and 2 pawns for bishop and knight. But I think it should be fine. The game continuation, he gave up the exchange. What do you guys think? Do fruit flies bite? I think they bite. Oh my gosh. Why are they both playing so fast? Well, actually, Morales uses time. So it's just Xerox is playing super fast. Dissing Morales. Morales is tough, man. Dude, I keep getting bitten by them. Well, I mean, you got bit by them, but you just didn't know it. You know, you weren't infested. We had this infestation going on, and they're mostly dead, but there's still some stragglers. And so there's like 1 or 2. I think the point is like you never realized what you were being bit by. That's all. Cool color cat. The hell was that opening? Oh no. I had this the other day. What? Wait a minute. You're not supposed to play bishop e2 here, Morales. Why did you play bishop e2? Is that a thing? Really? Wow. Wow, it's like secret variation. Durability. It's very exciting though, this variation. White did win a game once. I still don't know, guys. I mean, this is the chicken variation. No, wait. Aren't you supposed to play like knight, bishop e3? Yeah, why don't you play bishop e3? Alright, Morales has his own ideas. His own secret ideas. He's well prepared. I love it when my brain is foggy. Armed chessbow. Arm or armed? Armor. Two chat heads active. Chat heads. Okay, I will check everything at the weekend with February ratings, February ratings are coming out and candidates confirmations, and we'll let you know beginning next week. All right, that's possible GM tournament, free entry. Are you working tomorrow? All right. That was some sexy girl on OnlyFans. No. King Kong in first place. Xerox in second. The Speedy Guys. Arm Chessbow in third. Euroan in fourth. Nettie in fifth. Asterbait in sixth. Asterbait got on the board. Asterbait with 2 wins. Nice. Alright, I'm ready. I'm ready to play E4. Ready to play. I gotta get some points. 5-minute. Boom. I need to start drinking Red Bulls or something, man. I mean, I just don't have enough energy, ever. I'm basically, like, sleepy all the time. I don't know, Asterbait. Have you found, like, cutting back on your medication to be helpful? You feel that your brain is fine. I'm not getting enough exercise. Because all my work is, like, spread out and shit, I never have time to exercise. Like, I'm always like, oh, man, I'll have half an hour till the next thing starts. I don't feel like going for a walk. And the weather here sucks all the time. And it's depressing. Although it's not that much different than, like, Boston. Not as cold, actually. Knight F6. Damn, my time. Damn it. Ah, shit. I'm a piece. He didn't fall for it. Unbelievable. Can you believe that? It's insane. I tried my best there. My best super fake, exasperated poker bluff, psychological cheapo. Are you sure this position is okay for black? Huh. I didn't find anything. That's risky, isn't it? Net eye. Oh my god, dude. Do you know no limits? There's no limit to his insanity. Smaller the advantage, the better. Less for me to lose. Pawn takes. I mean, pawn takes is fine, but... Fun in the sun. This is a really small advantage now. We're talking micro. This guy's 1700. Jeez. This is a draw, objectively. Wow. King centralization. King e7. You're copying me? Oh my god. Psychic Network. And Lieutenant Uhura. They're really seriously this good? And you're 1700. Starting to get suspicious of this guy. $18.93 in bullet. He actually invoiced. He invoiced me. He sent me an invoice. Can you send me an invoice? Jesus Christ. Puts all of his pawns on the wrong color. It doesn't matter because it's kind of a majority. Dude, I don't know, man. I mean, you gotta be at least like 2,000. Okay, I gave him odds. Yeah, I forgot I'm berserking. Right. Okay, I'm berserking. I forgot I was berserking. Yeah, that was risky. He's fast. Risky. That's how he got such a time advantage. I totally forgot. You're gonna regret that, doing that. King f5 might be the difference between like losing and drawing in this kind of position. Remember to put all of your pawns on the dark squares when you have a dark square bishop, and put all of them on white squares when you have a light square bishop. It's really the secret to success. Don't forget it. Well, he still has chances. Not much. This is kind of a cheapo, essentially bishop a7. I would say. Probably a mistake. But not enough to wreck my position. A cheapo, if you will. Yes. Still. That's delicious. That was a delicious pawn you had there. Can I have some more? Oh no. Times and rates. Trying to sneak into f3. You gotta play f3 there. Are you serious? Any bullet player worth half of his... Oh no. You're not going to play it out, are you? Stalemate is a thing. It's a sickness. The elephant walk. And then resigning one move before mate. Kling Klong in first place, 0x in second. What happened to Arm Chessbow? He lost against Morales. Wow. Morales has left the building. No, he's playing. I'm convinced that the fruit flies bite, dude. They like bite me. They bite me just to taste me. They don't want to drink my blood. They just like my flavor. Unbelievable. Sampling the goods. Yesterday was funny. I was playing this game. What is it? Anyway, anyway, I was playing this game, and in the game there's a scene where there's a bunch of these flies making fly sounds. And it was ironic because like I left it on that screen and I went in the kitchen to like get some food or something while the computer was in this game making this like fly sounds. And it was really weird because I came back and like two of the fruit flies were like flying around my computer. They were like attracted to their like brothers making fruit fly sounds. And then I looked it up online, and there's actually like studies and stuff. There were literally studies about using like fruit fly sounds to trap fruit flies. You can develop sound traps. It's a cool idea. They hear the other flies, but apparently like all different flies have different sounds. So you can't just use like, this is like a standard. The game probably has like a standard housefly sound. So they need like specifically like to be trapped with like Mediterranean fruit fly sounds, which obviously sound different than houseflies. So you got to be very specific. It's like fishing, basically. You know, you need the right bait. So apparently the thing is like the males and the females also have different sounds. You got to trap the males or the females with like a male sound or something like that. Or you can use an Elon Musk. By the way, like, okay, it was in the news that Elon Musk is or has done his first like brain implant in a human, a chip brain implant, like a wireless chip brain implant. I'm just wondering, like, who is the test subject? You know, are they getting paid like $1 million to be a test subject? I'm kind of curious. I'm curious, like, who would be willing to be a test subject for something like that? You'd like want someone who is in really good physical condition. So just taking like a homeless guy off the street probably wouldn't be the greatest idea. Oh wow, King Kong against Arm Chess Bow. It looks like Zuckertort Steinitz first world championship. Maybe someone with a disability. Oh, poor guy. He's like a human test subject. You should get paid a lot by Elon Musk though. Obviously, like, good chances for like a lawsuit. If Elon Musk destroys your brain, you know, he's probably got like a NDA, non-disclosure agreement. There's a fruit fly buzzing around now. So where's my pairing? I don't know, man. I mean, you need to get like at least $1 million to be the first test subject for Elon Musk. Might cause death. If the use case is to help with something like Parkinson's, well, I mean, you know, clearly he wants to create more Hans demons that can telepathically communicate on Mars. Elon Musk always has humanity's best interest in mind. Never forget that. These fruit flies also have the ability to like disappear, which is pretty cool. I think that they're actually aliens. They're amassing at the southern border. Did you guys see the latest news? Let's do some politics since Bob isn't here, or Arsenal. The latest news yesterday was that, okay, 3 American soldiers were killed in Jordan by a Iranian-backed militia or whatever, Islamic network, whatever it is. But it's so funny, like the responses, that you get. This is literally like extremely sensitive thing. I mean, it's just so absurd, like our politics. If President Biden launched like a nuclear strike on Iran or something, there would be all these people like that would freak out. If he does nothing, the Republicans are gonna freak out. It's like it doesn't matter. Whatever he does, they'll say the opposite. I mean, that's so, it's so surface and so obvious. You can't go nuclear because a militia, killed a few people with a drone. It's just absurd. Just whatever you do, you'll get criticized. Our economy, the American economy, is doing great, but the Republicans would like you to believe that it's the worst economy ever. Well, anyway, like the truth doesn't matter anymore. I mean, it's just all about tricking people into believing what you want them to believe. Man, the foreign is going to go in free fall if Orban doesn't fall in line with the European Union this week. It's a really major deal now. I have all this money. All my money is like invested in 2 apartments here, and so the value is like in Hungarian forints. If the forint dies because Orban won't give in, EU is going to go nuclear on Hungary. The forint already started creaking. One piece up, but this guy manages to play fast and eventually trick me. Oh, Morales. Morales is talented, but he's too volatile, emotionally volatile. He's a hot Latin blood. How do you Latin people like manage it? How do the stronger Latin players manage it? Seriously. Damn, dude. I mean, Mr. Coffee, it's just a kid and he doesn't understand. He just understands. He understands the propaganda that they feed him. I don't blame King Kong, for. He's like a Donald Trump supporter who lives in rural Nebraska, watching Fox News. I mean, it's hard to blame him. You just, all you know is the information that is given to you. Although he does seem to have the internet. So, but seriously, King Kong, you're very sickly, misguided there, bro. That's straight up Russian propaganda. You're basically retweeting KGB Kremlin propaganda. It's absurd, People need to think, and most people don't. They don't bother to think. It's easier. The other thing is easier if you don't nuance your thinking. Just believe stuff because someone said it. That's the easiest thing to do. Don't try to understand the situation. Just repeat the shit that you see, broadcast out to you. It's easier not to think for yourself, King Kong. I understand. This is the way that most people really, really just to have no nuance to their thinking and just regurgitate any kind of propaganda. Acerbate, nice position here. I'm going to have to ban him. I think I have a pretty fair view of the current situation. But yeah, you might as well just get the Kremlin. Man, Nancy Pelosi got in trouble, man. She's gone too far. She actually implied, and this is probably true, but she should have known not to do this because it would set off a firestorm. Nancy Pelosi implied that, Russians are kind of infiltrating social media or whatever. And I don't remember the exact details, but she got in trouble the other day for stating pretty much the obvious. Man, Acerbate, nice game. Like, Israelis got all upset, or supporters of Israel got upset because Nancy Pelosi, or no, sorry, the other way around. Supporters of the Gaza got upset because Pelosi implied that some of them may not be genuine, right? Which is, it's totally obvious, of course. This is a completely reasonable thing to say, and it's true on both sides, from various sides, but, everyone freaks out, the right wing freaks out at her. Yeah, no, but it's hopeless, dude. It's hopeless. I mean, I don't have sides. It's just too easy to pick a side. My only side is like anti-Donald Trump, anti-Putin. I'm anti-Donald Trump, anti-Putin, anti-dictators. That's my side. Anti-dictator and totalitarianism, authoritarianism. That's the side I'm on, most importantly. So Acerbate is a freaking genius here. Wow. I cannot round up your pawn under any circumstances. I wouldn't even dignify that King Kong guy's comment with a response. Honestly. Treebeard. I'm Treebeard because I'm like anti-dictatorship. What does that mean that I'm Treebeard? I mean, I know the Lord of the Rings, but it's not that I'm trying to remain neutral. I have opinions. But I'm not gonna like really try to shove it down anyone's throat, except for the obvious. The criminals like Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump should not be in positions of power. That should go without saying. I'm not going to take sides on various conflicts overtly while I'm streaming, even if I did have one. But, just blatantly spitting out the propaganda is pretty sad. That's the problem, man, An otherwise relatively intelligent-seeming person, unbelievable. You can be that dense, really. I'm not on anybody's side because nobody is altogether on my side. Climate. Treebeard was big on climate. Treebeard would be a climate, change believer and supporter of the environment. I don't know, F4 I didn't like, Astrobate. That seems unnecessary, bro. You did a bad thing there. You did the unnecessary F4. And honestly, maybe you should take back with the pawn. I can't believe that guy would say that shit and not know anything about me. You really don't have the first clue of my general political leanings. A, I'm American, although I live in Hungary. What does he think? I'm like Hungarian? B, I'm like left-leaning. But I mean, still, dude. Alright, Aspate, you just wanted to give me the game. At least I don't have to like ban him for cheating or something. Where's our team? Shit. Close the window. History. Lucky Pawnda. Alright. Yeah, I don't know if like getting kicked out of the team affects you like mid-tournament. I need to fix the window, sorry. Yeah, I just can't abide by that. I can't abide with tolerating that type of comment. Leave him in there. You might as well just go to the Kremlin website and directly quote their shit, man. Divide and conquer. So Xerox is in first place. Sparkle Horse in second. Arm Chessbow in third. Astrobate, you're in fourth place. Euron in fifth. Nettie in sixth. Miyamoto in seventh. Insane in eighth. El Shakman in ninth. And Morales has left the building in 10th place. Alright. It's so sad how little people understand. Dude's gonna like discriminate against Americans. Do you know how many Americans support Gaza? Bro, do you even have like a freaking clue? You have no clue because you're just totally blinded by propaganda. Of course. The plight of Gaza. Extremely lot of support in the US. And you just don't even know because you're so tuned out from reality. I mean, half of Africa thinks like the United States is evil because of Russian propaganda. Actually, I mean, here in Hungary, they're totally anti-U.S. because it's all part of the the scam, basically. Although they tried to be friendly with the Trump administration. Let's face it, it's not about the United States. It's about the administration, at the end of the day. They want an authoritarian, friendly administration in the U.S. that will smile on Vladimir Putin and Orban and the other authoritarian dictators like Kim Jong-un. That's not going to happen, bro. I still think that Trump is unlikely to come back. It's certainly going to be an interesting election year, though. Alright. Xerox again. I played a closed, slow style King's Indian against him last time. Anyway, whatever. I didn't, You don't want any more, interesting election years. I know, man. I mean, dude, whatever. I mean, honestly, I don't understand, bro. Why it works like it does, but I think there's always going to be an interesting election year when the world is so polarized, the country's so polarized. But I think it connects to my chess approach, where people are inherently lazy. Political polarization I think it's inherently linked to the way people are basically stupid. I gotta have respect for people who are like so-called independents because, although they may be wrong, I mean, in a lot of cases, they at least have the willingness to think outside the box a little bit. Most people can't think outside the box at all. They're lucky if they even know where the box is. Yeah. Propaganda, bro. Look at chess, the way that people play chess. It's terrible. They're constantly just going to dark alleys because they're playing bullet chess and going into dark alleys every game because it's like easier that way than thinking. Why do you want to play chess if you don't want to bother to think? That's the thing that really blows my mind. Why even play chess at all? Because you saw the Queen's Gambit? And you thought it was cute? Or... It's weird. Not sure what drives people to play chess these days. If you want to play something where you don't have to think, try darts. Look at the young guy, the 16-year-old who's like a darts sensation. He didn't waste his time playing chess, I mean, pursue an intellectual sport. An intellectual pursuit like darts. If you don't want to have to think or take time to calculate, why calculate when you can play darts and have bullet elections? No, I mean, seriously, Mr. Coffee, there's talk now that like the whole election system has become too complicated for most noobs. The different kinds of primaries in different states, it's actually turning people off. It's too complicated, They're not going to bother to vote in the general election because there's too many primaries, too many types of things. They're getting out of bed at 6 a.m. and have their own problems. Hmm. They're waiting for the government to come along and save them. Well, I don't know if that really speaks to what I'm talking about. You know, I'm talking about. You're not really getting what I'm talking about. We're talking about people are inherently stupid and lazy, and they don't want to be bothered to think. It's not that they're too exhausted from their work to think, bro. The bottom line is that most people are too freaking stupid to even attempt to think for themselves. It's just easier to let something else, let someone else's thinking be imported into your brain by Elon Musk's, neural transplant or whatever. I'm not going to buy this most people are, they're just too stressed out and tired from work. I mean, or they don't have faith in the government. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm talking about chess. Why do people play bullet chess? Why do people not want to think? They don't want to use their time. Why do people not want to think in politics in the world? You can say it's because they don't have time, they're too tired from work, but the truth is they're just too lazy, in most cases. And a lot of people, they're too lazy to think for themselves. Or they don't have access to information in a lot of cases. That's why half of Africa believes that the United States is like the Nazi, regime or something. I mean, if you're trapped on a desert island where all you've got is pumped in propaganda like North Korea, well, it's not really your fault that you think America is evil, Some of us have choices, and some of us don't. If you live in an entirely restricted society. So this is a funny position. I missed that you have bishop h6. Damn, I thought that g5 was unplayable because I was winning outright with knight takes g5 check. That's pretty funny. Funny and sad. He's damn. I've got nothing, I'm just speaking about life and chess and noticing there's a correlation, Percy Hepworth, between the way that people treat chess and thinking in the real world. I'm seeing so much surface, lazy, not serious approach to the game. I mean, I guess the truth is that most people don't care, but alright, I'm boxed in now. I mean, after g5. Damn. h4. What would happen if h4, g4? Or knight g6? It's only going to get worse from here, boys and girls. I have to batten down the hatches. Yeah, I mean, if you're struggling to live, dude, of course it's you're not worried about which guy is president or whatever. There's also an element of people who give up because they think everything is corrupt, so it doesn't matter. The reality is there's a big difference between there's a big difference between the two. It's while I don't know if it's really the end of democracy if Donald Trump becomes president again, I think we are approaching that. I don't know that it's total alarmism either. I think it's all hands on deck, and the world is facing not just Donald Trump, but a lot of this type of stuff. You can't have free elections in so many countries across the world. I can't even. We're lucky that we live in countries where we can still have free elections, in the United States, in the UK, because in Hungary, it's kind of a facade. In Serbia, it's almost certainly a facade. In places like Turkey, it's not sure. I mean, in Russia, forget it. So authoritarianism is getting to be much more of a threat than it was. Serious situation. And if we just like bury our heads in the sand and go to work every day, I'm afraid things are going to get even worse. So that's my political speech for the day. Bishop c6 looks weird. I'm happy to trade queens if you would like to trade queens with me, sire. Clap. Clap, slap. Mr. Coffee has a clap. Oh, I hung a pawn. I don't know if I hung a pawn or not. I'm not sure. This is a provocative move by me. Don't be pulling any fancy stuff. Damn it. Yes. We'll see. Yeah, this is exclam. Killed my bishop. Now I'm going back. If I had seen rook d8, I wouldn't have played h4. You know, I forgot that he could play rook d8. So now I'm probably definitely worse. Very impressed by Xerox's play today. Even stronger than I remember. Though he seems to be, I don't know, on the verge of like improving. Since I first played him 5 years ago. Yeah, I read the Gulag Archipelago too. Solzhenitsyn. That's a good book if you haven't read it. Actually, it was a chess player who inspired me to read that, Alexander Ivanov. Of course, a Soviet emigre, unsurprisingly. Alright. But, no. I just, you know, I'm just like really shocked a little bit. Because I try to be thoughtful about the broader conflict that we're seeing in the Middle East now, and to have this noob like bust out the Americans are evil shit on me, like, really? If I'm not an example that your philosophy is fucking wrong, then I don't know what is, you know? I mean, I'm like a living example that this guy's whole propaganda philosophy is totally bullshit, you know? I don't subscribe to that shit at all. And I'm as American as anybody. I live in Hungary, but it doesn't make me not an American, you know? If he watched my stream and actually listened to anything I said, the guy would maybe not say stupid shit like that. I'm not a flag waving American, but I don't stand here and accept people making totally bogus, exaggerated it's Russian propaganda that America is like an evil empire, killing people all over the world. You know, standard shit they import to like the Middle East and Africa to make like, you know, everyone like hate the United States. Here we go again. This reminds me of something. Reminds me of Snedsteg. Snedsteg. Oh, that's a coincidence, right? Snedsteg and Xerox are from the same country. What a coincidence. And Snedsteg made the great exchange sack against me. I think Xerox had something here, but inaccurately played it. Though still he may. He's down in exchange, man. It's too much. No. But he had enough play. He was doing fine. Now it's 2 exchanges. That's a lot of exchanges. Look, ma, no checks. And helpmate. Actually, you played a good game. You're probably better, right? Knight e7. Wow, it's Grishuk Rapport. Oh shit. This was a great game, actually, guys. I didn't know that Xerox. This is the Grishuk Rapport position where he played h4. So I must have castled when Grishuk played. Most people played d4. I hesitated by castling. Castling is inaccurate. That was the greatest game in this line that I've seen. You know, game number 1. No, not Grishuk Rapport. Shirov Rapport, of course. Sorry. Game 2. Shirov Rapport. d4. Knight g6. It's not here? Then what am I thinking of? Wait, Shirov. It had to be d4. d4. Oh, he didn't play knight g6 right away. It must have been bishop d7. And then what? What does white play here? h4? Yeah. This was an Olympiad in 2016. You gotta love this move, man. I mean, I was watching live when they played that. When he played that. That's when I first started streaming, I guess. Wow, it had been played. Wow. I didn't know this had been played. Quinteros played it in 1973 against Larson. I assumed it was a novelty. Wow. So it's Quinteros. It's been played in a number of games. Scherzer played it in 92. Dominic Pedzik played it in 94. So it's not a new idea. I just like gave Shirov credit for inventing that. And it all been played before. Xerox Acerbate. Whoa, Acerbate just sacked a piece. Look at this. Bughouse. Asteroid, why are you playing Bughouse against a strong player? You get a chance to play a strong player, and you freaking play Bughouse. King G6 would be a little risque for Xerox. But if you want to have fun, you might go for a walk. I just want to say, about the game with Xerox, that, you know, you had a good game. Muradi Abadi against Sungaski. Was that like some U.S. championship qualifier or something? So we're out of book now. I played a theoretical novelty, Bishop B3. I guess it's just kind of waste of time. I wasted time. Now we transpose to a couple of games. I didn't know what to do, so I played A3 theoretical novelty. King H7. I just keep stalling. And then you went for it with F5. Wow. And so apparently I can play E takes F5, which was my original plan. But D takes E5 is actually bad for white. Wow. Who would have thunk it? It's a beautiful diagonal you've got there, Sledgy. And a lot of good it does you. Just all air. 100% air. Look at that. You know, yesterday I had a game where I got Connect 6. It's very hard to get Connect 6, Connect 7, or Connect 8 in chess, right? With their own pieces, I mean. Here we have Connect Air. 6 squares of air. It's a great diagonal, but it doesn't do anything, you know? Wow. Knight takes E5 and black is better after that. Yeah, I wasted too much time. A3, bishop E3, bishop A2. I didn't like bishop C6, but the computer thinks it's okay. You were better. And H4 is a blunder, of course. I can't develop my queen side, and you're just better. Nice game. Xerox in second place. Oh, Astrobate still playing. Looks like Xerox is taking it easy on him. He could have won a piece there, no? No. Oh yeah, you have Knight C2 check. Oh, that's funny. Knight C2 check, King E2, and if Knight takes A1, we're forking the pieces in return. So it didn't really win a piece. Astrobate, resign. Resign, let the man play another game. Okay, he still has some tricks here. Knight takes E4 check. Knight C5. Who am I to tell him to resign? Aspirate has a draw against Xerox. Oh, jeez. How did that happen? Wait, what? What's this? White didn't move. Black is victorious. 49 minutes ago. Xerox missed the game or something? Maybe he forfeited one against Acerbate. Earlier. No, I could have been playing in a poker tournament tonight. There's a really good didn't go. But just I got too much stuff going on. This is less stressful. Wow, Ali Reza GM with the trident. Acerbate. Oh no, it's Xerox. Xerox Ali Reza. Am I in the tournament? We're waiting to get paired. Oh, I'm so sleepy. The Xerox does play the wing gamut. What's going on here? I'm forgetting. I was afraid you would play the wing gamut against me, but then you also play open. Xerox, you also play open variation. It was, it wasn't you who always played the wing gambit. It was Aldisto, who mostly played the wing gambit all the time. But someone else plays the wing gambit, don't they? Who's the other player who played wing gambit? Do you remember anybody? Acerbate, Mr. Coffee. Of course, it's bollocks in general, but it's still it's completely viable for Blitz and Rapid. I'm just trying to think, who else was it? I mean, Xerox must have played it against me at some point. Alisto played it a million times. But I feel like there's another one. Another player who was playing it against me. Wow, Queen A5. That's... I don't know who Ali Reza GM is. But they have plenty of games. It kind of, well... I mean, the bullet rating isn't that high, so honestly, Dr. Tripchance feels like he would even be higher rated in bullet. But clearly a decent player. But is Queen A5 a real move for Black? Why am I not getting any game? There's no one left in the tournament to play. Haruku never showed up. Goju never played. Goju's playing now. Haruku, why did you never play? Morales quit. Husky's here. Husky's not playing. All these guys are here but not playing. Why is everyone here but not playing? Why are there so many people in the tournament who are not playing? Husky, the Power of Noon never showed up, whoever that is. Sun Prism's in but not playing. Goju's in, starting just now. Haruku's in but not playing. Zen Chess in but not playing. Hobbins in. No, Zen Chess played one game. Well, Zen Chess played one game. Ah, he lost to our hero. And then Dinekis. Let's see the Zen Chess game. Oh, Zen Chess just resigned. Yeah, not sure when that happened. Maybe he came in at while the dude was like insulting all Americans. We really appreciate it. You're like generic. We Americans appreciate your generic Putinism of assuming that we're all evil. Propaganda is working like a charm. Alright, so yeah, Queen A5 was an interesting move. Black seems to know what they're doing here. Look at this. Sophisticated play. H5, Knight H6, and then the provocative Queen A5. I do think the wing gambit is fully okay for fast time controls. Reminds me of this game at the World Senior. It was a French, no, Caro Khan. We went over that game in the stream. Michael Adams versus Minassian. Bishop takes h6. Because rooks on h6 don't play well in practice in the Caro Khan / French defense. And black really has a decent handle on how to play against the wing gambit, it looks like. You can also play the wing gambit against the French. Why do I never get a game? No, I'm going to finish in like 3rd, 4th, 5th place. Astrobate's going to finish ahead of me because I can't get a game. Alright. Xerox is playing. Xerox is not playing. I finally got a game. Stop crying. Alright. Now, cool. D4. Finally. I started playing D6 to A, avoid the London, and play the... But this move complicates my life. I had a funny game the other day where my opponent played Knight C3. See? Oh, you got me with London. You can always play the Kraken against London. Man, I had the 1600 crush me in a London last 2 weeks ago because I played in a generic way, and they knew what they were doing when you play like in a generic way. I walked in some kind of stock tactic like Knight H5, Knight H5, and he wins a pawn, and then he just like took all my pawns. It was a computer for sure. But my play was so bad and riddled with blunders that I couldn't even report them because it would look ridiculous. This like they just dusted me though. I mean they crushed me. They just one pawn, then another pawn, then another pawn. It was tactic, and I lost 4 pawns, and I like resigned. And the player was supposed to be 1600. It's like I'm not even gonna bother to report this to lichess because it's just too stupid. It's not worth my effort to even bother. I've also noticed that if I report games on my IM account, they're likely to get flagged. But if I report people on my Smurf account, they don't get flagged. So it's like lichess takes like cheating reports more seriously from titled players, which is a really bad sign. You know, I mean, that's not the way it's supposed to work. You know, you should treat all people's cheating reports equally. I mean, I know there are people who like Asterbate who they like report people all the time, and then you can block them or whatever, you know, just ignore them. But I only rarely report people for cheating on either account, you know, and it seems to me like very clear that if I rarely report someone on my streaming normal account, they'll usually get banned or at least often. But in the other account, never. You know, they just like... My history is more accurate. I really don't often report people, but my feeling would be they're more likely to just ignore random people. But I guess I'm just paranoid. Now I've got another generic position. This is a classic ready. Look, man, I mean, they don't have much staff here at lichess, and if they're gonna cut corners, the first way to cut reporting corners is to only take the title players and high-rated players seriously. It's not good, but it would be like an easy way to cut corners. Of course, more detailed reporting is probably better. Usually, I don't feel like writing like a thesis when I report someone for cheating, but I'll give a few examples. I'll look at their games and I'll give maybe 3 or 4 examples of games where they cheated or it looks like they cheated. Not just like the one game I played with them. But I've had very little success reporting people on my alt account. And I play more with that. So, you know, I get more cheaters. I don't play as many rated games or random games here. In like rated tournaments are the place where most people are more likely to cheat. Not so much the unrated games. You send an 80-page dissertation. That's what Astrobate does. I don't want to know what Astrobate does, but I'm sure he's gotten like blocked from reporting because he just drove them crazy. This is like very, very standard position for London. I had games exactly like this with Bill Kelleher. But I'm not sure Kelleher would put his rook on c1 necessarily. He'd be more likely to make these retreating moves. Like, you can always play bishop h2, bishop f1. The first game I ever had with Bill was a reverse London, actually. Draw, of course. This is a ready in reverse. It's a very famous position. That's why the London, I may be called the London, I'm not sure. Probably some tournament that was played in London. But I'm thinking of Lasker using it with black. New York, 1924, probably. Ooh, I just got a weird headache. Astrobate, you probably, you know, made them annoyed by sending them 60-page letters. And that's why they blocked you from reporting. I'm always right. That's like my wife, man. Funny how much some people have in common with each other. They're always right. I've known a lot of people like that in my life. I'm thinking Lasker played what you would call the London system with the black pieces against the ready. So bishop f5. I had a book on the ready, and I think it was a Russian author, but he had a weird name. Vyacheslav Osnos. Okay. So Osnos categorized the systems. He had like 2 systems named after Lasker. He said Lasker was responsible for 2 different setups against the ready. One like involving bishop f5, maybe one involving leaving the bishop in the pawn chain or something like that. It was like Lasker variation 1, Lasker variation 2, or something like that. But I think what I'm doing here is solid, but it's not really a good way to approach the London. Because this is a very common variation. Look at my opponent. He's very comfortable. He's played this like a zillion times. I think the thing you want to do against London system players is get them a little bit out of their comfort zone. Because this is basically a draw. I mean, just like my game with Bill Kelleher in 1990, we've kind of reached a Mexican standoff. I mean, both sides can make mistakes, but if you look at this position, it's kind of hard to point to it and say, well, you know, one side has much better winning chances because of this. You know, I mean, this structure is totally symmetrical. That's why people are like, why do you hate the London system? Well, look at this position. I mean, it's totally symmetrical, extremely uninteresting, and, you know, why would I want to play this? I would rather play Tiddlywinks. You guys remember Tiddlywinks? That's old school. We had these old games I inherited from like my grandparents or something when I was a kid. It was kind of cool. The kind of thing that were left in like the attic or the garage or the, you know. I had these like 80-year-old board games from my grandparents. Tiddlywinks. TM. First rule of London system is, you know, keep that bishop out of the game, bro. It's a spectator. The minute you play d5, you know, it exists again. So, I can play knight f6, I guess. But my queen can be driven away from defending. It can be driven away from defense of the e7 pawn, so I don't want to move my knight and let that happen. On the other hand, this is not that easy. I could also try a tricky line, like knight f6, rook takes... No, sorry, knight f6 isn't a tricky line. Yeah, knight f6, problem. Rook d8 looks like my best shot. But I gotta be careful here. There's one classico idea. Is my queen trapped yet? How's the shelf? Yeah, see? Look at that move, bro. Look at that move. It's a nice move you got there. Wow. So queen f7 check, king f7 check, knight g5, and like wins a pawn. So I can play h6. But what started to bother me was, I get the h6 part. What bothers me is, knight d2 bothers me. And the fact that I have no squares for my queen. But I do have a square. In fact, I have a couple squares. f5 and e6. So h6, knight d2, queen e6, d5, no problem. Just losing a queen, nothing major. Okay, h6, knight d2, queen e6, pawn e6, white's on the 7th, pressure all over the place, I don't like it. The other option maybe you'll find more interesting here. Look, ma, no weaknesses. Tactical defense. So we have good control of d5. We have superior control of d5. With knight on f6. And then there's Forky Morky. But I mean, this is the kind of position like any London system player could get to. Hey, what's up, Nedog? Jimmy Cagney's chess primer. The first rule of London system: do not play the London system. Give your opponent a dirty look if they play it. Shame them. Now I can play h6. What's the problem? h6 is always a useful move. You might say my b6 pawn is weak, but the same is for b5. But this is a very bad idea, you know. It's just a stock variation. I should not play this. But they tricked me with the move order. What about the A file? Is that relevant? This is like another tactical trick, basically. Trying to trick me into like getting my queen trapped on e4 or something. There was games like this I had in the Slav with white. Queen takes queen, knight takes queen, bishop moves f5. And black is better. That's what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Black is better. Now your b5 pawn is overextended, hanging. You can't undermine my knight on d5. My king can enter from f7 and start to influence the center. Everything's protected. And it's like, oh, what did h4 do? It stopped g5. Okay. Well, that's nice. Are you threatening me? I'm gonna stop knight d2, first of all. This is beautiful London system. Lionel Chessy. God, I can't see he plays it all the time. And that's surprising. And your point is? Yeah, because he hasn't changed his opening repertoire since like 1991, bro. Obviously. But what's interesting? That Gadakamsky didn't play it against me. Coincidence? Interestingly, almost all grandmasters play d4 against me for some reason. Kamsky chose to play e4. That was really interesting. He was also very late to the game. Do you even... I often tell my Kamsky story. I was such an idiot. Do I want to help white to play f3? Like, well, wait. Well, f3 loses, doesn't it? Does it? It's a really bad move. I didn't have a chess set. That's the dumbest time I didn't have a chess set at a tournament that cost me royally. Yeah, man, because, like, in Blitz, okay, it's like you can play mindlessly. But that's my point about the London system. It sucks because it kills people's creativity. Actually, Blitz chess, Blitz and Bullet really hurts your creativity. Unless you're specifically, like, trying to play in a creative way, which I think some people might actually do. In general, it probably like hurts you. Damn, he like dropped an exchange. Is it mate yet? He's like the typical, prototypical, where's the mate? Prototypical guy, right? Like, you're like, how could the same player play this game? You're literally wondering how the same player could play this game from beginning to end. How could the same player who played perfectly the whole, like, first 20 moves, like, get mated with his king in the middle of the board? Like he was just a total noob, you know? Things that make you go, I see this every day. It's like, people, like, play, like, 2700, and then they, like, transpose to a lost king and pawning game. I think it's related to mindlessly playing the London system. I'm you know, Kamsky's different. It's a long story. I mean, Kamsky was trained in a Karpov way to not learn opening theory when he was young, but he's also capable of playing like real openings. He knows the difference. He played a real opening against me. He's capable of playing e4. He's capable of playing like complex openings like the Dutch defense, for example, but he's also never really been an opening guy. And I think ultimately that's probably what held him back from being a serious challenger. Besides the fact that his father is like a psychopath. Okay. Was, I don't know if he's still alive. Alright, next game. Xerox again. You faced the Kraken. So what did we see in the first game? Oh, let's vary. Well, I mean, it can't hurt you to watch Gata. Unless, you know, well, it could make you crazy or something, but I'm sure it's instructive. I have nothing against Gata. He's a good player. Very good technical player, you know. That's why I resigned when I lost the pawn against him. Most people, I wouldn't do that. Besides the fact that I wanted to go and play poker, you know, I'm good at, like, defending bad positions. It's actually probably my greatest strength, so I just respect his technical game, you know. He's got great endurance, too. Although he's getting older. He's a few years younger than me, but not much. Maybe 2 years younger, I'm not sure. The rise and fall of Gata Kamsky, according to Slaggy. Interesting. Interesting and boring. It's a little like our first game, but not quite. Similar theme. You're going to do the exact same thing, like knight c3. Wait, you didn't do knight c3. This is different. Yeah, that was different. Yeah, I mean, okay. Lionel Chessy, I don't think that these titles. Hans Niemann is invited to play in Weekend even though he's like openly cheated in online chess. I think it's disgusting. There's no way he would play in the tournament I organized, or anybody who's like openly cheated. But there's absolutely nothing preventing title players from cheating. I've had grandmasters cheat against me. Of course, Gata understands this as well as anybody. Some people might have some kind of fantasy that title players don't cheat, but they absolutely do. I've had FIDE masters cheat against me, grandmasters. One of my IM teammates cheated. He's now banned for 2 years from the Hungarian Chess Federation. In many cases, I guess title players have as much incentive or more to cheat. But anyway, I know everyone like says Gata's paranoid and crap, you know, but he's also right. But it makes you crazy, you know. Like, it shouldn't be like this. It was destiny, though. Chess, computers, and the internet. At the end of the day, only bad things can happen with a combination like that. it's absurd to have like the Title Tuesday tournaments or whatever. You know, any kind of online tournaments are impossible to have. They're fake by nature because no one can be sure that the others aren't cheating. My favorite were like the ones where they had to ask you to be like on Zoom calls or whatever, you know, like because that prevents anything. You know, I'll get out my anal beads for the Zoom call. Be right back. What a joke. I feel sorry for guys, like, honestly, title players who were trying to play and, like, seriously try to play in, like, online. Oh, that's crazy. I had a dream last night about Alex Lenderman. Wow, my dream just came back to me. You guys, that's awesome. I remembered my dream. It was, like, almost 24 hours ago. Usually that's it. I forget them. I played Lenderman in my dream. I was playing black or something. I was playing in some weird tournament. And it was over the board. The dream is very hazy. But I was definitely paired with Alex Lenderman. I don't remember that the dream specifically the game wasn't like completed in my dream, but that is kind of random though. Because I don't really think about Alex Lenderman. I have very little exposure to him. But he comes to mind as someone who was playing these like online tournaments and taking them seriously, which I thought was kind of insane. That must take a lot of wherewithal, you know, to just play in tournaments knowing like half your opponents are cheating, but I'll just deal with it. Sorry, not interested. I get it like during the pandemic, but he just kept doing it like, nope. Not interested, sorry. It's pretty sad, really. At some point you gotta be like, okay, internet chess tournaments are not a good idea, and I'll do it during like a COVID pandemic, but I'm not gonna just continue to play in like online tournaments that have prizes because I like hammering my head on the wall. Lenderman must have a very thick skull, you know, to just keep banging his head on the wall. Why would you want to do that to yourself? It's just like insane. You know, you can always hope your opponent gets food poisoning. There's a small percentage chance. I mean, speaking of luck in chess, I guess I dreamt about Lenderman because his name must have flopped up when I was doing a lesson recently. And I'm always seeing games between certain players. I faced him at my peak, but I was sick. And I lost because of food poisoning. I've told this story like a million times. But, you know, it's interesting. He really... Another one of these guys from New York who got his rating up really high. But then it's like, well, what's your point? You know, he doesn't really play much. I guess so he could play like online tournaments against computers or something. That's why he became a grandmaster. Alright, b5, b4, anyone? I like this idea. But b5 can be met by b4. Or bishop c5. Oh, bishop c5. A little anti-positional. Not the safest move, okay. So what's wrong with... I mean, there's some beautiful ideas here for white, by the way. Like knight f5, sacrifice. I like that for white. Wait, knight d7, knight f5, I just take it. Then I can play bishop d5. He doesn't really have a knockout blow here. But I don't like this, you know, friendly connect 6 over here. There's a lot of pieces pointing at my king kingside area, which makes me feel uncomfortable. I was thinking b5, b4. By the way, that hung a knight. Just some of you might have noticed. Antonio, you're constantly pissed off, dude. You're constantly pissed off. Have you thought about, like, maybe it could be menopause. You could be menopausal. Maybe it's work stress. You're playing after work. Menopausal rage. This is a thing. Nedog, did you meet Antonio? Antonio Nedog. Alright. Yeah, you're both BU grads. Congratulations. It's like a BU reunion. Hispanic BU grads. Did you know that, Nedog? Did I mention it in our previous stream? Probably, right? Damn, you don't like your Darksword Bishop? What do you have against Darksword Bishop? So materialistic. Knight f5. I have a friend, Nedog, who's an IM. He's half Mexican and half Spanish. You guys, if we mixed you together, you'd be like him. Half of his family looks down on the other half. I don't know. You're a migrant. The New World and the Old World. Would you consider yourself to be in the top 3 of best poker players from the titled chess players? I don't know. I don't know, Chancey D. I wouldn't know. I mean, I played with, like, some grandmasters. I used to play with Garampan. Speaking of cheaters. The Argentine grandmaster. We played some higher stakes sit and goes and stuff. He was pretty good. He kind of, like me, like, quit playing chess for a long time to play poker. But I don't really know. Like, how can you say, like, who's best? And plus, like, different kinds of poker and stuff. Everyone always talks about Grishuk, but I don't really know, how good he is, how much he played, what stakes. So I wouldn't imagine that I'm one of the best 3. There's a lot of chess players. There are tons of chess players who are good. I wouldn't even know if I was in the conversation. I would have no idea. But it's also hard to judge people as poker players because, are we talking cash? Are we talking sit and goes? Are we talking about multi-tables? Chess isn't really, poker isn't really like chess where you can compare people as easily based on like rating or titles or stuff like that. I could say, well, on Pocket Fives, I was ranked like 1100 in the world or something. And in chess, my highest ranking was like 598 according to chess metrics. So, I doubt I'm anywhere, close. If I was 598 best chess player in the world, what rank would I be among chess players who played poker in the world? A lot of players, a lot of chess players. But, how seriously did they take it? I don't know, A lot of Scandinavian players. I know, like, Samson Nisti was really into poker. Probably a lot of chess players you've never heard of, like me. My level IMs and stuff are quite good. I mean, dude, but where do you define, Elon Schwartz is an FM, and he like final table the World Series of Poker, and he's a world class poker player, but only an FM in chess. So, damn, I'm getting totally crushed here. I had a great position, and now I'm just getting like totally outplayed. I mean, I'm very impressed by Xerox's strength. Although he seems to play in waves. Like, he's not that strong in the opening, and then his middle game is really good, and then he kind of fades toward the end. Antonio, dude, you need to like lose the anger over time. I mean, you know, it's just part of the time control is sudden death. It's not the same as, you know, you need to just, it's a different compartment, man. Don't get angry about it. You can't compare apples and oranges. I mean, there was another chess player from like Minnesota or something who was like a Russian. I can't remember his name. I didn't know him. I'm just down the exchange now. Well, that's good. No, this is a crappy game. Lost my concentration. Okay, I'm in fade. I'm in like vegetable mode. Usually like after the first 2 hours, my brain starts to go into vegetable mode. I didn't eat enough dinner tonight either, and I have other excuses. But yeah, I mean, it's impossible. It would be cool to come up with a list of good poker players. But I would limit it to people who specifically like only played a list of poker players or chess players who quit chess to play poker for an extended period of time. Yeah, those German grandmasters you mentioned. I mean, I don't know, Grishuk. There's a lot of others that we didn't even. I know there's some players from Poland. Yeah, there's so many chess players who got tired of being broke, who started playing poker, but poker kind of died. It's not that online poker kind of died, you know, ultimately. It's still alive, but it's on life support, you know, I mean, and a lot of people will be like, oh man, you know, it's still alive, but it's nothing like it was. I mean, there was like a golden era for online poker, and it's gone. I'm not sure it's ever going to come back, you know. I feel like it's just a thing of the past. And not just easy money. I mean, it's just too much restrictions, too many countries banning it. I mean, too much dubiousness about administrating it. It's just a disaster. Ultimately. I mean, really, the main thing was when American players got locked out. That killed it. That was like a death blow to online poker. More or less. I mean, essentially, the American government, or whatever you want to call it, the Fed or New York Attorney General's office killed online poker effectively. Whenever it was. Preet Bharara, I think, was in charge at the time. He's now, you know, a legal consultant for CNN or something. Nothing personal. But yeah, what are you going to do? It's hard to regulate. Governments hate it. It's hard to tax it. But the game is never going to be the same as it was during its peak. And the other thing that I found really annoying about online poker is like online chess, the sites have this kind of, you know, incentive to make it faster and faster. So basically, making tournaments faster and faster, making blind levels faster and faster, making the games more stupid and dumbing them down. Ultimately, it's very similar to like bullet chess versus classical chess in online poker terms, like making more turbo tournaments, hyper turbo, spinning goes and crap, where it's just about like generating more rake more quickly for the sites. It makes the game really shitty, It's like having super fast blind levels at a live tournament or something. You can still play, but it's just becoming more of a lotto all the time. And I just don't care for it, honestly. Alright, are we in trouble yet? Damn, Xerox. Are we in trouble yet? Yes. Wow. I mean, obviously I don't like to play bullet chess, so hyper turbo poker, wouldn't really make a lot of sense. Essentially. Damn, how do I play this position? How do I not play this position? How do I play this position? I'm in trouble here. Needless to say. What? What's queen f3 do? Hang a pawn? I hang a pawn. I hang a pawn. I hang your pawn. He won on time. I forgot it was not increment again. Alright, I'm done. Anyway, I'm done. He got in front of me with that. Wow. That was the decisive game. Oh my god. I just flagged and Xerox wins the tournament. Yeah, I mean I'm not lucky. Yeah. No, I hate the whole like online poker culture almost as much as I hate online chess. I mean, I don't mind turbo tournaments and stuff, but I mean, when it becomes like a joke, where you're playing like a sit and go with like 20 big blinds to start with or shit like that, it's just absurd, The skill side of the game like goes out the window. And I just am really turned off by online poker culture. White couldn't take it, or queen f2. What did I miss there, by the way? He had 50 center pawn loss. I had 53. I was never even like a little bit better the whole game. And I started to come back, and then he just shut me down. Because I couldn't generate a threat here. The thing was, I intended to play h5. I completely intended to play h5 here. Like, that was the entire plan. Here. This position. I literally thought about it for, like, a long time. Bishop takes g4. Oh, my God. I had that. That I missed. You know what the irony, though, was? That my entire plan was to play h5. And I just didn't play it. Like, I was talking about poker, and I got back to the board, or I looked up at the board, and the whole plan was to meet, it was literally to meet g4 with h5, because I have queen takes. So Netok's variation, well, I mean, this is a good question, right? The problem with your variation is, I guess, queen takes f7, where this stays defended, and he's still threatening me here. Yeah. But, I mean, I'm pissed at myself, because I saw the threat. Like, I was no longer in danger. I'm down the exchange, but I have a great passed pawn out here, and he doesn't have any attacking chances, and if I just play h5, it shuts him down completely. He has no play now. And this is the point. I mean, takes, everything's protected. I'm probably, like, better, because he can't win, but my pawn could queen, So, that's really dumb. I mean, It happens a lot, like you forget what you intended to play. But I was about to flag here after h5. It's very tricky now. You know, objectively, yeah, I mean, it's not easy now. I literally almost played queen g5, but I realized it's probably crap. I have to find a difficult move now. Yeah, it's hard to defend now. I'm running out of time, and it's sudden death. So good game. Congratulations to Xerox. He played well. Performance 22-18. Yeah, he's 22-18 because he like forfeited a game against Asterbait or something. Alright, so in reality, this player is cancelled. King Kong is cancelled. So Xerox is in first, I'm second, and Arm Chess Bow gets third. Asterbait gets fourth place with a win in the last round. You got a win against Ali Reza GM? Oh my god. Oh, do I feel Wow. Do I feel like a analysis of the week game coming on here? Asterbait checkmating a 2200. This is a terrible opening move order, by the way. Really crap. And now you're fine. Yesterday I had a beautiful suburban mate. What's it called? Siberian mate. I wanted to show you Asterbait. Because maybe he'll move his knight variation. This is awesome. Maybe he'll move his knight. Oh, we're getting in there now. Look at that. Whoa, black's just totally winning. Wow. Now your queen is stuck, but you have knight d4 check. So look at this fancy move he played. Knight takes f2, giving away a lot of his advantage. And yet his queen, you know, can get out with queen h2. This is a weird game, man. White played really badly for his rating. And then suddenly, you know, look at that. I love this. This is, look at that. He's coordinated. It's like one piece within like a 3x3 quadrant. Saji squares. According to Saji Square strategy, this is black Saji Square. I think we need to modify this, Mr. Coffee. I was thinking about it yesterday. You need to like eliminate the outliers. So if there's like one piece that's, you don't count like, I don't know, your most advanced piece or something, or any piece that's like away from the other pieces by more than 4 ranks gets like tossed out. So the Saji square wouldn't count the queen. We would just have this essentially, this versus this. The queen gets like tossed out. What does that remind me of? What is a Saji square? It's a way of measuring like how much space we control and how well coordinated our pieces are. So I invented the system for drawing like a square or rectangle. Rectangle is a kind of, a square is a kind of rectangle, right? Drawing a rectangle, which is like the volume, I don't know what to call it, the volume that you control if you draw a rectangle between all of your pieces and their maximum reach. So here it would be like this. I've got a queen there, and I've got a rook here, and they meet there. So we draw, this would be my Saji square, illustrating how much space, coordination we control. Area, thank you, area. Bigger is better. And then this shows lack of coordination. The pieces are redundantly like getting in each other's way. It illustrates how how much impacted white is by the fact that their own pieces are constrained by themselves. Black has better coordination than white. But, I think that the formula has to be kind of tinkered with a little bit, because this queen is like way beyond all the other pieces. Because my theory about chess is that development is like pushed on noobs as a principle of chess, but that's not enough. Like just telling people to develop their pieces, it's not enough. You have to tell people to develop their pieces in a coordinated way. So you have to understand coordination as well as development. I know this sounds like a more advanced concept, but I want to kind of like put them together, I mean, the best example is like, if you play d4, your bishop is developed from the original square. You don't have to move your bishop. It's already developed. A lot of people don't get that. They're just like moving their bishop because somebody told them they need to develop their pieces. The only reason this distance piece needs to move out is so that maybe it gets out of the way of the rook, or you want to castle queenside. Get out of the way of other pieces. Move botted. No problem. Coordination. Coordination in chess. Very important and a rarely covered topic in chess literature. So, anyway, you won't see too many blog posts among the clickbait titled bloggers on lichess, because posting stuff about coordination would take actual thought. Alexa, generate an AI-created blog post for lichess about coordination. But anyway, no. Good tournament, guys. It's Xerox in first. I'm in second. Arm bow chess. Bishop e5 here. Say what? What you talking about, Willis? Arm bow chess? This was Astrobait's final game, sorry. Bishop takes h3. It looks like white has rook h1. He missed rook h1. And so, but this is ironic. That is ironic. The engine gives 0-0 here. Double zeros after rook a e2 double question mark. A draw, per se. How's the material? Black's up a pawn. This is kind of shocking. Is he equal? This is equal. Black's a pawn up. The white king is exposed. No. Black's a piece down, and it's equal. Okay, I get it. There's no knight. Sorry. Black has sacrificed a knight for one pawn. Yeah, bishop e5, and then rook h1. He did this at the wrong moment, ironically. Oof. That was bad timing. Yeah, Astrobait's game of the week. Now you played queen h6 when you could just as easily go here or something. Yeah, actually missed bishop c4, which you found later. So beautiful scissor bishops here, by the way. Oof. Nice game. All right, Astrobait, good job. Way to treat that 2200. He had a treatment. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. Xerox in first place. Congratulations. We'll be back Thursday, opera style, coffee house. Playing for the gallery. We'll be back Thursday with our subscriber stream with game analysis. If anyone would like to submit a game who's a subscriber, if anyone would like to donate, by the way, I have to buy junk food for my kids. So please donate. That's funny. Nedog. Please donate for junk food for my kids, okay? I really need to buy them some junk food. And I'm still waiting for my glasses and chair. We'll start a new donation bar soon. Thanks everybody for your support. Please don't forget to subscribe. And we'll be back later. Thanks, Mr. Coffee Nedog. Double moderators. One of them is a little bit of a troublemaker. See you guys later. Have a great night. Thank you for playing. Bye-bye.